You're right guys, in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Evolution Rage 5S table saw. Now Evolution very kindly sent me this saw to review, so big thanks to them. Now bear in mind I'm no professional, I'm just an average Joe after all, but I do hope you find this review helpful. Let's start with some technical specifications. The saw has a 1500 watt motor. The 255mm blade is able to cut wood up to 83mm at 90 degrees and 58mm at 45 degrees. It can also cut steel up to 6mm thick. The saw has a rip capacity of 305mm on the left of the blade and 650mm on the right of the blade. Now let's take a look at the saw itself. On the front of the saw there is a safety power switch. The wheel is used for raising and lowering the blade. It's also used to change the angle of the blade. By releasing the paddle at the top, it enables you to bevel the blade up to 45 degrees. Pushing the wheel inwards engages teeth that help with changing the angles. Don't forget to lock the paddle in place before use. Under the table to the right hand side there is another paddle that when released enables you to extend the right wing of the saw. Again remember to lock it in place. On the left hand side there is a knob front and back that when loosened enables you to extend the left wing of the saw. Tighten them to lock it in place. Also under the table there is another knob that you pull down and twist to unlock the sliding table up top. Returning the knob to its original position locks it into place again. The insert plate is very easy to remove with no tools. I can just use my finger to turn the lock and lift out the plate. This gives access to the blade and riving knife. The plate hooks in at the back and then locks in at the front. The full length fence rides along a rail front and back. It slides very easy thanks to the low friction plastic. Locking the fence in place engages the back rail for extra stability. It doesn't move at all. There is quite a large gap underneath the fence, not a problem for most applications, but if cut in very thin stock it can slide underneath. The fence has holes for adding accessories which makes adding homemade jigs simple. The saw also comes with a mitre gauge. There is a little play in the track but I haven't had it affect my cuts. Using the knob at the back it can be secured to the sliding table for added accuracy and support. The sliding table is a great addition. I wish more saws had it. Now let's see the saw in action. First up, copper pipe. Cuts quickly with ease and is cold to the touch. Next let's cut some 3mm steel. Again a nice easy cut and cold to the touch. I hardly feel any resistance when cutting wood. You can of course make rip cuts with steel too. It cuts hardwoods really well too, it doesn't struggle at all with this walnut. Hooking up the dust collection at the back really helps a lot with minimising the dust. I'm surprised just how well it does catch the dust. This is cut in MDF and as you can see the mess after is very minimal. The table stand is really nicely done. The two wheels make moving it around a breeze. It folds out easily and locks in place. It's also very easy to fold up again for storage and to move around. As you will have seen, I leave off the safety guard to the blade. Now I don't recommend anybody do that at all. This is just my personal preference. I prefer to be able to see the blade through the entire cut. It's just my personal opinion and I would not recommend anybody do it. Always follow the safety instructions and make sure all safety attachments are attached to your saw before you use it. Overall, I'm really impressed with this saw. I've only ever used saws under the £200 range, so to move up to this one, it's been a real improvement over everyone that I've used before, and of course this has been the best table saw that I've ever used. Few things that stand out to me that I'm not so keen on. I'm not a fan of the large gap underneath the fence. I understand there has to be some gap for it to slide easily, but I think that gap is a bit too much, so cutting thin stock, it's going to slide underneath and I'm going to have to put some kind of jig face on the front of the fence whenever I do have to cut thin stock. The biggest standout pluses for the saw has got to be the fact that the fence is a full length. It doesn't move on you at all. As soon as it's locked in place, that's it, it's solid, and that's a huge improvement over the shorter fences. They deflect a lot on the end. And the other thing as well with this saw is that sliding table. It's a lot like building a table saw sled. But of course this is built in, so it's a brilliant feature and I'm surprised just how well it actually works. I thought that the workpiece might drag against the other tables when you clamp it down to the sliding section, but it doesn't at all. It gives it a lot of support and a lot of guidance. Another big plus has got to be the base, the fact that it folds up into a small space and it's easy to move around. I don't work on a building site, all my stuff is done inside my shed, but I can imagine those of you who do work on a site, this is going to be really handy. It can fold up in the back of your van, fold out easily, wheel it around all around the site over rough terrain, everything like that. It would be nice if the wheels had got rubber treads on them. These are hard plastic, but again, it's not going to be moved around that much. It's not a big deal. Now, I'm really impressed with how the saw performs. Cutting softwoods, it's like the softwood isn't there. The same with cutting plywoods and MDF as well. When I do some hardwoods, you can tell the resistance, but I don't hear the saw bog down at all. And I've been cutting some 2-inch thick walnut, and it goes through like a breeze. Cutting steel as well, it's amazing that these saws can do that. Cuts up to 6mm. I haven't had a chance to actually test out the 6mm thickness because I haven't got any 6mm steel, but the 3mm handles it with ease, and it just opens up a wide range of projects you're able to do, the fact that you can cut that steel. I'm also a really big fan of the sliding extending wings. Other table saws seem to have those fixed, so you've either got a really big space taken up or you have those off, and it's really awkward if you need to cut wider boards. Well, this, of course, it slides out on both sides. The left-hand side isn't so much important to me, but I can understand if you've got wide boards, it's helping to have that support as well. The right-hand side, however, is very useful for me. In my small workshop, it's really handy to have that enclosed space, but then being able to slide it out when you need that extra bit of cut capacity, especially on the right-hand side. Something to bear in mind, when the right-hand side is fully extended, there is quite a bit of flex in that table, and of course it all moves as one, so it's not so much a problem with cutting, but just bear in mind if you have any heavy boards resting over, like say, full sheets of plywood, that could be an issue. But as I've said, overall, this is a brilliant saw. I haven't used any other saws around this price point, but I'm really impressed with how this one's performed, and I can highly recommend it to all of you watching now. I'm going to leave some links down in the description to where you can find the saw, some more information, and where it's for sale and stuff. If you like this video and you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you want to leave a comment, if you've got any questions, I'll answer all of them. Leave them down below as always. If you want to subscribe, so you be sure to check out my next video whenever it goes up. And I've also got a new show started that's out on Friday afternoons, so make sure you click the bell icon next to the subscribe button, and that way you'll get notifications. And please share this around with your friends. If they're in the market for a table saw, they might find it helpful as well. That's it then, guys. Thanks again for watching.